Mrs. Sutliff here, and I'm going to be talking about our expectations for our robotics unit. So we only have 3 rules. There's just some specifics under each rule. So the first rule is be safe. Your iPads need to stay off the floor. You can only hold one, either the robot or the iPad. So that means if you're by yourself and your robot just went ahead in your code, you ran your program, but you're by yourself, then you either need to ask someone else to put your robot back at the start, or you need to ask someone else to hold your iPad for you so you can put the robot back at the start. Okay? We're not putting iPads on the floor. That is how they get stepped on, and if someone steps on your iPad, you are the one in trouble. All right? So you also need to watch where you are walking. That means that you are not going to walk through someone's maze on the way to give Miss Kenny your book or on the way to go to the bathroom. You are going to pay attention where you are walking. If you kick a robot, you are the one in trouble. All right? And I have a consequence for breaking any of these rules. You will be writing me a paragraph about the robot rules. Okay? So the next rule is be responsible. To be responsible with the robot, you need to use code. Both of the robots that we have, the Dash robots and the Sphero robots, have a way where you can just drive them around. There's an app where you can drive around the Dash robots, and there's a section inside the Sphero EDU app where you can just get a joystick and drive around, and that is breaking my expectations. Okay? My expectation to be responsible is that we use code only. Okay? I also need you to put away properly. So to put away, and also to set up properly. To set up properly, you are going to choose a partner, get a bin to make a maze, and go make your maze. When your maze is ready, then one of you gets the iPad, one of you gets the robot. That way your iPad and your robot won't just be sitting there while you're trying to build your maze. Okay? To clean up, so one of you brings me the iPad, one of you brings me the robot, then you both go back and start cleaning up your maze. And we clean it up properly. Okay? Then to finish cleaning up, we need to come to the rug and listen to my calming music and breathe. If you cannot do all of that, then we are going to have a consequence, and it's going to have to be the whole class. So that means that if you don't want to practice cleaning up, then you need to remind others to come to the rug and breathe. And if someone is trying to remind you to sit on the rug and breathe quietly when it's time to clean up, then you need to listen to them. Be respectful and go, oh yeah, you're right, I am supposed to be quiet right now. Okay? So then our last rule, our third rule, is be respectful. We need to take turns. So what that looks like is on your turn, you put in one block of code, then you run your program, and then you hand the iPad off to your partner. Immediately give the iPad to your partner. Then you can watch what your robot does, and then your partner can then help debug your code if you have a bug in your code. If your code was perfect and the robot went exactly where you wanted it to go, then your partner can put in another block of code. Okay? So on your turn, you might be debugging your code, or you might be putting in a new block of code, but you only get to do one. Okay? So take turns. Another thing is we need to follow directions. That means that any directions I give you, you need to be respectful and follow them. So that includes following all of these expectations, following these directions, but also if I give you any special directions during that robot time. Okay? And then we need to code quietly. That is another expectation for being respectful. I will be using my Library Stars app, and if we're too noisy, we will stop and come to the rug and listen to me talk to you about how you need to be more quiet. So you might as well be quiet so we don't waste our work time. Okay? That is all 3 of our robot rules for our robotics unit. If you break a rule, you have to write me probably 3 paragraphs. A paragraph for each of the rules about how we're supposed to follow the rules for the robots. Okay? So I will also be putting this video up for anyone who forgets so that they can watch the video again and then do their paper for me. So if you have any questions, make sure you ask. So as you can see, both the Sphero Bolt at $179 and the Dash Robot at $179 are expensive. So we need to keep them safe. Robotics is a privilege, and we need to be respectful, responsible, and safe with the robots. So those are my 3 expectations: be safe, be responsible, and be respectful. And of course, our learning targets. We can program our robot to escape our maze, and we can program a victory dance.